All right, welcome everybody to another edition of the Florida Physique Report. I believe this is episode number 37. Today is Thursday, July 9th, 2015. And on today's show, we are going to go over the competitions coming up in the month of July, another busy month in the NPC Florida bodybuilding schedule, of course. And then we have two special guests today on the Florida Physique Report. Our first guest is going to be Kelly Diffenderfer, who won the women's physique competition over the weekend at the NPC Team Universe out in New Jersey. And Kelly is now an IFBB pro, so congratulations to Kelly Diffenderfer. She's got a great physique, and she's competed quite a few times this year alone in the women's physique category. And of course, we did a training video with Kelly last year over here at FloridaPhysique.com, and I knew she had a great physique back then, and I knew she was going to do well this year, so congratulations. She finally won that coveted pro card. So Kelly's going to tell us about the competition and also about her journey to get that pro card. After we talk to Kelly, we're going to talk to Maria Bellando, who is one of the co-promoters of this weekend's huge Southern States competition, which is taking place in Fort Lauderdale on July 10th and 11th. It's a two-day show, and Maria is one of the co-promoters along with Peter Potter, and we had a nice conversation with her previewing what's coming up this weekend at the NPC Southern States. It's now in its 35th year, so it's one of the biggest shows of the country, and it's one of the longest running shows in Florida. So let's first talk about what's going on this weekend. So last weekend was the July 4th weekend, and there was a competition here in Florida. It was called the NPC Miami, and we have the results of that contest up on FloridaPhysique.com, so check that. I want to thank Mike Sansevero from NorthAmericanBodies.com for providing the pictures, and of course I want to thank Maria Bellando for providing us with the results from that competition. And then the other big contest over the weekend was, as I said, the NPC Team Universe contest, which took place in New Jersey, and this was a pro qualifier. It was a huge competition, over 600 competitors. Quite a few Florida athletes competed in that show, and like I said, Kelly Diffenderfer came away with the win in the women's physique category. She won her class, and she is now an IFBB pro, so we're going to talk to Kelly in a minute after the break. But first, let's go over some of the competitions coming up this month, in the month of July. Of course, we have, as I said, the Southern States this weekend. That is the big show for this weekend. It is out in Fort Lauderdale. It is July 10th and 11th. It's a two-day show. On Friday, they do all the women's divisions, which will be figure, bikini, along with men's physique. So that's going to be a big night on Friday. And then on Saturday, they're going to do all the bodybuilding. So it'll be men's bodybuilding, women's bodybuilding if they have it, and of course women's physique as well. So all the people that pose will be on Saturday. They've got a huge lineup of guest posers, and we're going to talk to Maria a little bit about that. That'll be at the War Memorial Auditorium in Fort Lauderdale, so if you're in the area, try to make it. It's a great competition. Peter Potter does a great job. Next weekend, we have a big competition out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, another national level competition. It's the Teen, Collegiate, and Masters Nationals in Pittsburgh. Always a big contest. I think last year they had about 700 competitors, probably have more this year. So we're going to keep our eye on that to see how our Florida athletes do at the Teen, Collegiate, and Masters Nationals. Also on July 18th, there is an IFBB NPC Prestige Crystal Cup, which takes place in Boca Raton, Florida. In the pro division, in the IFBB section, they're going to have bikini and women and men's physique. So there's going to be 3 pro shows in addition to the NPC Prestige Crystal Cup. For more information on that, go to prestigecrystalcup.com. Also on the 18th, Gene Schlossberg will be holding his Ancient City competition out in St. Augustine, Florida. And I will be at that show, and Gene always puts on a good show as well. I went to that contest last year. It was very good. So go to ancientcityclassic.com if you want more information on that. Coming up on July 24th and 25th, we have another national level show. We've got 3 national level shows all in the month of July. The NPC USA, which always takes place the last weekend in July. It's out in Las Vegas. John Lindsay is the promoter there. So that'll be a really, really big show. Obviously another pro qualifier, so we'll keep our eye on that to see how the Florida athletes do. And also on the 25th, we got the Beach Bodies Classic, which is taking place in Satellite Beach, Florida. And for more information on that, go to beachbodiesclassic.com. And of course, I will be at that competition as well. All right, let's hear from our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to be joined by our guest this week. First, we're going to talk to Kelly Diffenderfer, our new IFBB pro from Florida. She won the women's physique division over the weekend at the Team Universe. And then we're going to be joined by Maria Bellando, who's going to preview this weekend's NPC Southern States competition in Fort Lauderdale. We'll be right back with the Florida Physique Report. Stay with us. Check out NFE All Natural Warrior Supplements, featuring pure isolate protein made with natural stevia flavor, 1 gram of sugar and no fat. NFE Trim, thermogenic fat burner, boost your metabolism, suppress your appetite, build strength, develop muscle, and shed that body fat. Go to NFE.com today.
NFE stands for No Freaking Excuses.
All right, welcome back to the Florida Physique Report, and my guest this week is Kelly Diffenderfer, who just got her pro card at the NPC Team Universe over the weekend in the women's physique division. How you doing, Kelly?
Feeling amazing. Today is probably the first day that everything is starting to hit me, so it was definitely a delayed reaction, but it's all starting to set in now, so I feel really great.
Yeah. Now, how many national shows have you done to try and get your pro card?
This was my 7th national show.
Okay.
My first one was the 2011 Nationals down in South Beach, and I did figure.
Okay.
And I took 12th there, I believe. Then the next year, I really, I think I had my best year in figure in 2012. And I did 2 national shows that year. I did the North Americans first, where I placed 7th. And that would end up being my highest placing in the figure division. And I really liked what I brought that year. And I really started at that point contemplating, trying to see what the girls that had placed higher, what they were bringing. And it really wasn't anything that I wanted to achieve. I thought my look, I liked what I brought. So I think that's right about the time women's physique just came on the scene in 2012. And so I've decided to finish out the year by doing nationals. Actually, I wanted to compete at the 2012 nationals in physique.
Okay.
And that was the first year that instead of letting figure girls just go into a national show and compete in physique, you actually had to qualify in physique. So I entered the show asking to compete in physique. And I got, my entry back saying that everything was good to go. And then it was the day we were driving up to Atlanta. I'll never forget it, the Wednesday before the show, when I got an email from Pam Betts saying that since my qualification was in figure, I had to still do the figure division. Wow. So I had made a lot of necessary changes to make the leap to physique. And so we had last minute decisions to make. And, I got stuck having to go out with the figure lineup, and I looked pretty ridiculous. I was much bigger than the rest of the girls. I'd say I had at least, 10 10, maybe 15 pounds of muscle on most of them. So I ended up taking dead last call-outs, 16th place. You know,
How did you have your shoes or anything, or did you just have your women's physique outfit?
I bought a new pair of heels up in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yep, I did not even bring my shoes. So
Wow.
yeah, I found a place.
When you're on your way up there.
Yeah, on my way up there. So that was pretty difficult because you know how much goes into them.
Yeah.
And you know, trying to like downsize my posing and do anything possible to look not out of place, but you know. So that was that. Then after that nationals, 2013 was my first year fully committing to women's physique. I did the Sunshine Classic down south, CJ Sunshine Classic, and I won the overall there in my very first physique show. So
Okay.
that was my way of qualifying for women's physique. And then I decided to go right into Junior USA's with that qualification. So that was my first time stepping onto the national circuit as a women's physique competitor. Unfortunately, basically at that point, my body was already getting to the point where I was getting burnt out from the 5 or 6 shows I had done leading into the 2012 nationals.
Right.
So really, my body needed a break at that point, and I just kept pushing it because I really wanted to get on, you know, physique underway. I ended up placing 6th and missing the top 5 by that one place at Junior USA's. And then again, that left me wanting more and being like, oh, I just, you know, I was so close to that top 5. And, you know, Eric was like, look, we really need to shut it down. We cannot push it any further.
Right.
So, you know, I was like, okay. And then, you know, 3 or 4 months into being, you know, off season or whatever, there was too much of the year left in me. And so, against better advice, I again pushed it to the 2013 Nationals, which, you know, is all the way in November. So it's a long stretch from May. And by then, it was by far my worst time on stage. I can't even look at those pictures because I really shouldn't have been up there. But I took 12th and it was just, you know,
What was wrong with your physique by then? You were just burnt out?
Oh yeah, like all the signs of just over dieted. There was nowhere left to go with my food. I was bottomed out. The cardio was as high as it could go. And so, you know, and the skin just wasn't tight. Nothing was responding anymore.
Yeah.
And I was still going through the motions, you know, I wasn't cheating. I was dieting clean, you know, but, you know, the body just wasn't having it basically. And so, yeah, my look was just, even though my body fat percentage said I was lean, it was not even close to as tight and as conditioned as these girls were coming in.
Right.
So that was the wake-up call to lead to the 2014 year off completely. Did not touch the stage, really let my body have some time off. You know, got my food back up high. As I remember telling you in the interview when I did my workout,
Yeah.
you know, there was a lot of time off that really was necessary.
Now, what happened with your physique when you did that? Did you notice immediately a change?
Absolutely. Once I took about 9 solid months of no cardio and eating just basically depending on how I felt, like eating when I was hungry, not force feeding, but just getting my meals in and really not being too concerned with real restrictions, you know, just letting my body do its thing. And now we're talking, you know, maybe getting up to about a 14% body fat range, which is obviously still a very healthy, you know, it would still be considered lean by like, you know, the normal standards.
Yeah.
But however, you know, as competitors, when you're in that range after being in the single digits, you feel and look not so great. That's, I think, the hardest part with females. Putting on the muscle is you could put about 5 pounds of fat on, 5 pounds of water, and you look like you're 35 pounds overweight.
Yeah, right.
But like I try to explain to all my girls, you know, you have to be willing to go through those stages if you really want to get to like that next level and that next level. So it was great, and I knew by the time I was, you know, shooting that video with you in Tampa that I dropped in like 20 minutes of cardio 3 days a week, and the food and the response was there immediately. So that's when I knew we were ready to all systems go.
So that meant your metabolism was much higher because you had put more muscle on and just a little bit of cardio, and you got a response right away.
Yep, absolutely. And there's this whole thing with metabolic damage. Some people don't believe in it at all. Some nowadays seems to be a trending thing where everyone thinks they've gone through a phase of metabolic damage or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I think the metabolism, the body in itself, is capable of such amazing things that there's nothing really irreversible as long as you take the proper steps.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're doomed if you've done too many shows. You just have to make sure that you don't get stuck in a rut of continuously being in a contest prep phase and learning how to go in and out of the phases.
How much did your body weight go up, Kelly?
Like I said, I think at my heaviest in the off season, it was probably no higher than like 15%. And then by the time this show right now, I was in the 4% range.
Wow, no kidding.
Yeah,
So tell us what happened this year. What did you do this year?
So this year was just incredible. I won 3 overalls. I took a top 5 finish and obviously just earned my pro card. The first one was Shannon Day's Southern USA.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was a great show, great experience. However, I ran unopposed.
Yeah.
So it was great in the fact that it was my first time getting my feet wet back on stage after taking a year off.
Yes.
So not having any competition was kind of nice, but at the same time, it's not evaluating where you're going to stand on the national level. So instead of just going right into Junior USA's with that qualification, I found out about the Florida Grand Prix and found out that, the overall winner was going to get free entry into Team U. So I said, okay, let me do that, see if I can get a little bit more competition to see where I stand. It was only a week prior to Junior USA. So it was a little bit of a gamble in the fact that I knew I would have to be doing 2 shows back to back. And so, of course, that changes a little bit as far as what you're going to want to do. If you don't want to peak for the Grand Prix and then ruin your chances at Junior USA. So there's a lot more thought into how you want to cut your water, things like that. So we kind of just went down there, didn't change anything, just kind of got on stage looking how I was looking on a daily basis without going through depletion or, anything like that. So that show was by far going to stick in my mind as one of my favorites for a really long time. Not only was it my first time being able to do a master's class because it was women's over 30. So I did the open and the masters and won the overall in both of those. And then the coolest part that I just can't say enough about was this brand new edition of the it was basically like a Champion of Champions award, most likely to turn pro, where they allowed all of the overall winners from each division, bodybuilding, figure, physique, bikini, we all went in a pose down together.
Really?
Very end of the show, yeah. And I won that. So that was the coolest thing ever. They Bonnie Coleman cape over me.
Oh, okay.
It was just
I saw the pictures from that show, but I didn't know they had that pose down like that. That's cool.
Oh, it was so cool because, it's just that by far was the coolest thing I had ever experienced. And so for winning the overall with that also gave me my flight to Team Universe. So that was just great momentum. That allowed me to go into Junior USA's with, a lot of confidence. And then Junior USA's, again, such a great experience. The downside to that show would be the fact that they only have 2 height classes. So it's only a short and tall, which the amount of women's physique competitors is growing each year. I really hope to see more classes added. So I was in a class of 21 girls at Junior USA's and taking top 5. That was my first time taking top 5 at a national show. It felt like winning first place to me. It really did. Coming home not empty-handed, my 6th time at the national level. Felt incredible. And then I just knew. I knew I had one more left in me. I knew exactly where I needed to change or what, and I knew I had 4 weeks to do it. It's always been my glute hamstring area, even in figure. I can now look back on those pictures and say, you know, if I was a hair sharper in that one area, I probably would have gotten higher even in the figure division. And so that's all it was, 4 weeks of nothing but every single day, you know, glute and hamstring touch-ups every single day. Why not? You know, if it's lagging and you have limited time, I mean, and twice a week isn't cutting it, just do it every day, you know, who knows, see what can happen. So that's what I did.
What did you do for that area, Kelly? What exercises?
Well, what I did was I decided to go back to, which most people are doing all the time, is the rotating stairs. I never ever do rotating stairs because my legs will actually grow if I were to do that the whole prep. So I had not been on a rotating stair machine in probably over a year. So I was like, okay, this is going to be new. It's going to shock my body. And I did 45 minutes every morning of the rotating stairs. And then I made sure I incorporated, I'm really big into pole fitness. It's my other passion that I do on the side. It's the next pro division that I'll be seeking to achieve.
Oh, really?
Now that I have this one under my belt. And so I made sure I incorporated a 1 hour of dance every single night. It just helps me with being short in stature, to elongate my muscles, and keep my lines, you know, looking nice. So 1 hour of dance. And then I also did 20 minutes post-workout of bike sprints on like the spinning bikes, you know?
Yeah.
So 20 minutes of sprints on that. And I don't know, that seems to be the trick. So,
how much did your weight change from the Junior USA to the Team Universe?
Good question. I did not bring my body scale with me. However, I weighed 133 the morning of Junior USA's. And I was probably around 131 or maybe even 130 the morning of Team U.
Okay, so not much, but you made changes more in your physique and the hardness and stuff.
Exactly, yeah.
So how was the experience of doing the Team Universe? What was that like?
Excellent show. Absolutely incredible. 4 divisions, 4 height classes. So just a better level playing field, you know what I mean? Still had 12 solid girls in each class. I had approximately 12 girls. Everyone was, you know, came correct. So I really liked the fact that there was 4 height classes. Also, you know, the venue was great. Really great experience overall. I was trying to think of, you know, something else that I really, the one downside is the fact that you have prejudging finals, or prejudging on Friday, finals on Saturday.
Yeah.
So a 2-day show definitely adds another component in. What was kind of cool was I never got placed in the middle. I'm such a stickler for like just thinking that that's who they're favoring.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, so since I was to the left of the girl, and I went into finals thinking that I was really fighting for that 2nd and 3rd spot. That kept me on my toes, which was good, you know, and you just have to make sure you don't do anything, you know, because you want to be able to show a full day later and still look just as good, if not better.
Right.
So that was the plan. And at night on finals, my routine is like my favorite part of this physique.
Yeah.
Very seriously, I put weeks into my routine. I had one of my pole fitness dance choreographers choreograph my routine for me, and her name's Dawn Marie. Little shout out to her. And what happened was, you know, you can practice a million times, and when you get up there and you're in the moment of it, nobody knows if you mess up, but I knew that I messed up. And, you know, you have to just keep going, and, you know, you pull it off, and then it weighed so heavily on my mind that at that point, I remember just being so consumed with the fact that I didn't nail my routine that when they were calling out like placings, I was like not even fully there. I remember like, so it was like total shock. And I have, I'm a big firm believer in positive visualization. So I have envisioned them calling my name and my number and being placed in that top spot to win my for 9 years now.
Yeah.
And I every time I would play it in my head, the moment to me, I thought I was going to always bawl my eyes out, like lose my mind, just so emotional. And then here I was, just none of that happened, because I was just like, oh, I won. I kind of was just not even,
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't register the way I thought it was going to.
Right.
But yeah, and then the overall pose down was, I mean, I made sure I had a blast up there. I'm sure there's some crazy photos of it in some of the forums and stuff, but we all got up there and did our thing. And congrats to the girl that won. I mean, talk about amazing conditioning. So hands down, she had me from the back. But I think I gave her a run for her money, and it was just a great experience. So.
Wow, that's fantastic. So what do you think you're going to do next? Have you thought about it yet, or are you still in dreamland?
I've definitely thought about it. I decided to make this decision before I even stepped into this last show because, as we just spoke about, the tendency is always to push it. You want to push it. You're like, oh, well, I'm already in shape. I might as well do my pro show. There is that mentality of thinking, but there's also the mentality that if, this is my 4th show already in 7 months. I started dieting in December. I mean, this is really the time when I should be getting into a nice off season, reverse dieting a little bit, and giving myself a really good chance of entering my pro debut with something different for the judges to look at, not what they just saw.
Right.
I don't want to do that. Of course, I would love to just jump in there. I'm still gonna get my pro card, or ask very kindly the president to give me my pro card for this year, and just to have it as a memory, hold on to it, but really not planning on using it until next year. Next year, I'll come up with a game plan of what I want to utilize as my pro debut and make sure I'm bringing something brand new, improved for the judges to see.
Yeah,
So
I think that's a good idea because, like you said, you did do 4 shows in a row, so it does wear on your body,
Sure does. Yeah.
Yeah, even after having all of last year off, I mean, you still did a lot this year in the short amount of time.
And I mean, and you're, as a female, if you want longevity in this sport, if you really want to hold on to your femininity, if that's important to you, which it is to me. I have a very specific look. Maybe that's why I don't get that crazy, gnarly, shredded conditioning just yet, because I'm taking my time with letting my body get there. And you just have to take time off. That's all there is to it. And otherwise, you're going to get into nasty water, and so, the stage isn't going anywhere, and I'm going to be so much better by taking this time off.
Yeah. It's funny, too, listening to you talk, I could see that being a competitor, but also being a contest prep coach with you and your husband, Eric, are both contest prep coaches, you were able to analyze your physique in the same way that you probably analyze your clients,
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the most powerful tools of being a coach is all about. Every moment of my prep, I'm basically analyzing, am I being a client? Am I being like a stellar client? What I would expect from someone, or am I doing all the things that I just can't stand when they're doing, things wrong? Most of them know. I mean, I have serious tough love come peak week. Backstage, how you should be acting, what you should be doing. I mean, Eric and I are, it can almost seem like we're overly controlling. I think maybe some people like that, some people don't, but your mental game has to be so strong at that point. And I try to instill those values in my competitors. And so, again, I try to be very vigilant of what I see people doing wrong during that time, and then making sure I'm not making those mistakes myself, come showtime, because I can't preach it and then not do it myself. So
yeah. So how, if somebody wants to get a hold of you and Eric for contest prep, where would they go to a website, or how would they get in contact with you?
I definitely think that social media is usually the way to go. Facebook. I'm really trying to get more into Instagram. I'm still kind of old school with the Facebook, I guess.
Yeah, me too.
Facebook is where most of us can mainly be, contacted. We also have our website, which is what I'll usually tell people if they contact via social media first. I'll say go to the website, check out the different packages that we have available, and then from there, it's always direct contact with Eric via cell phone, which his number is posted several places. So text him. That's when we know you're serious. And then from there on out, usually text messaging with him is the most, and me, is the most efficient way of getting in touch with us. But
what's the website, Kelly?
The website is teamfreakphysique.com.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Facebook is, we have our team page as well as both of our personal pages. So
Okay.
any of those options are available.
Okay. All right. Well, Kelly, congratulations on your big win. I was very happy to hear you win because I know you put a lot into your training, because I saw you train last year in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you did really well this year in all the shows you did. So congratulations. I was really glad to see you get that pro card and bring it home to Florida.
Thank you very much. I was honored to be able to do this interview with you, and I look forward to getting some of my pro workouts with you over in Tampa. I love making that trip over there.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for having me.
All right, Kelly. All right, thanks you for joining us on the Florida Physique Report, and we'll see you around, and we'll see you on the pro stage pretty soon.
Thanks. Bye.
All right, welcome back to the Florida Physique Report, and my guest today is Maria Bellando, who is part of the big NPC Southern States competition that takes place every year in Fort Lauderdale, and this is the 35th year. How you doing, Maria?
I'm doing great, John. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for coming on the show. I just wanted to have you on to give a little preview about what's going on with this year's contest. I know this is probably, like I said, this is the 35th year for the show. So it's got to be one of the oldest shows in Florida, and I know Peter started it out, Peter Potter, and this is probably, I think, one of the biggest shows in the Florida area. And Florida is a huge area for bodybuilding and figure competitions because, we have like 60 shows throughout the year, and this is a 2-day event, so it's really almost like a national level show, really.
Yeah, it is. That's what makes ours just a little bit more unique than everybody else, is that we do run it on 2 evenings, Friday and Saturday.
Yeah.
So Friday night is usually our women's competition. Now we added men's physique, so we have men's physique along on Friday, and Saturday we leave that to the bodybuilders and the women's physique.
Okay, yeah. And first of all, I want to thank you, Maria, for sending me all the scores every week. You are right on top with that. That's awesome because that really helps out Florida Physique, because I can't usually be there for the Southern Florida shows. And you're always right there, right? Every like Sunday morning, you send me the scores for all the shows that happen in the Southern Florida area. So I appreciate that. That really helps us to get the word out about all the contests that are going on.
Not a problem.
So tell us a little bit about this year's show. I know you guys always plan a big show. You always have a lot of guest posers.
Yes,
and
we do.
I was looking at the website, and it looks like you even got a lot of people that won like last year and that are now pros, and you're bringing a lot of them back too. Yeah,
we always welcome back our previous year's winners to come and guest pose if they want, if they feel up to it.
Yeah.
So we have that every year. And then, Peter brings in a lot of the top pros to come down and guest pose for us. We have Sean Roden. That's our, the big guy that's coming in.
He's a top Olympia competitor.
Yeah, he's one of our top competitors, in the country, in the world, actually.
Yeah.
We actually have this year Roger Espino, who's our wheelchair IFBB pro.
Oh, yeah.
We have him coming, and he's guest posing. That's something special. We haven't had, being that I guess the wheelchair now is new in the IFBB, so we've got him coming guest posing, which should be really fun.
He's got an incredible physique too. I've never.
He really, yeah.
I've seen pictures of him before. His upper body is just amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would never know
Yeah.
that he was in. Yeah, it's pretty remarkable, actually. All those athletes.
He'll probably be a huge hit, I'm sure.
Yeah, we have India Paulina, Jennifer Strobel. You know, India's a local. You know, Jennifer's pretty local. She's in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
You know, we try to.
Now, will they be posing, Maria? Will they be coming out and doing a routine stuff?
They're gonna come out, maybe speak, be around, walk around, talk to everybody, come out, present some trophies. No, they're not doing anything special as far as posing or routine or anything like that.
Yeah.
But they're there for, and you know, everybody. They're, you know, everybody we always get. All our pros that we have at the show are always very accessible to the athletes and to the spectators, and you know, they come, and it's really a great show because you know we have tons of pros running around outside of what we normally have, just guest posing.
Yeah.
You know, Darren Charles and you know Dexter Jackson. You know, we got him walking around, and so it's kind of fun.
I remember being there a couple of years ago, and you had Lee Haney and Linda Murray both there, and Chris Dickerson. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll probably have Chris if he can make it down. Chris Dickerson is probably going to be there as well again, so we hope he can get there.
And you got Sadiq Hatzovic there coming also, right?
I'm glad you said his name because every time I try to announce it, I can't say it. Yeah, we've got Sadiq. We have Nick Trigili.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then we have our collegiate national champion Human Eaton also coming down.
Okay.
So and Jose Luis Rodriguez.
Okay.
So we got those are our guest posers for this year.
And he's the Arnold Brazil champ, right?
Right.
Right.
Yep.
And then I think you got Natalie Costa also, right? Jennifer Freeman, Von Xavier. Those are all previous winners, right?
Winners,
April Casamano. They were all previous winners from the Southern States.
And Jennifer last year came out of our show, went straight to the Masters Nationals and turned pro. She went from show straight into, and the following weekend she got her pro card, which is pretty awesome.
And Jennifer Freeman also, and Natalie Casamano, right? They're all pros too. I remember interviewing them at your show before.
Yeah. Pretty fun. We have a lot of pros. Look, even I came out of the Southern States. That's
Did
where
you?
I started.
Okay.
Yeah, I started. That's when I competed. I was one of my first fitness competitions was the Southern States.
Yeah. When I interviewed Lee Haney last year, he said that he did it like when he was 19 or 20 years old. He did the Southern States.
Yeah, that's how long this place has been.
I know. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a good. You know, Peter's tried to keep. He's kept it at the War Memorial now for many years. So.
Yeah. Now,
well, I was talking to, actually, it was so funny because I was talking to George Prince last weekend at the Miami, and he was giving me some history of the Southern States, and apparently it had started outdoors at the youth fair.
Oh, really? Wow.
An outdoor event that started way back when he actually competed in it, and he goes, it was kind of crazy. Sometimes it would rain, and
yeah, right.
outside of the War Memorial, so that's good.
Yeah, I competed in it back in '87.
I think we all have, right?
Yeah, right. I think everybody.
Yes, anybody. They've competed in the Southern States.
Yeah, it's got an amazing history to it, and you're probably going to have a bigger group of competitors this year than ever before, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we hope. I think so. I mean, according to what's coming through pre-registration right now.
Yeah.
I think we're doing very well. I have right now, before we even get into our tomorrow's registration, over 115 or 20 girls, just the girls alone.
Wow.
And then men's physique, about 60 or so, and then the bodybuilders will have about 100 or so, maybe more. And that's just going in.
So you're talking just Friday night alone, it's going to be like 175 competitors, something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, without a doubt.
Unbelievable. It's an amazing show.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how things are going this year in Southern Florida, because, we usually report on that with FloridaPhysique.com every week, and the numbers seem like they're really huge just about every weekend. I'm just amazed at Florida Bodybuilding. I come from Chicago, and I remember I think we had 6, maybe 8 NPC shows a year, and then I come out here and there's like shows, not only shows every weekend, but there's like 2 shows going on every weekend.
Yep.
And you get over 100 competitors in both shows. So we have one in the Central Florida area and then one in Southern Florida, and there's over 100 competitors each show.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It really is.
So Southern Florida this year looks like it's bigger than ever, right?
Yeah, so far, every show that I've been at, which is every single show down here,
Yeah.
with the exception of last weekend, because, George, the Miami Bodybuilding Show is also probably as old, if not older than the Southern States.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, George Prince has been doing it for, I think it's 37 years also. I mean, it's been a long time he's had that show.
Okay.
A lot of history in the Miami as well, but he just happened to have had it during July 4th, and it landed on that day, and I think that might have hurt him just a little bit this year.
Yeah.
But numbers have been well into 150 per competition. So yeah.
Yeah, I noticed, especially the bikini and the men's physique is really big.
Oh,
this year.
they're skyrocketing.
Yeah.
Fitness to me is in my heart, but trying to get this thing built back up again, fitness, but it's not easy, with bikini and figure, women are going that way,
Yeah.
But we had a few good ones at Frank Dalto's show just a couple of weeks back,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm hoping that they'll be coming to mine. One was a young girl, teenager, and she was amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I'm hoping to get her.
Yeah, I love watching the fitness routines. I think they're great. It's really
It brings a
entertaining.
lot of excitement to the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
And it seems like you're getting a lot of women from, the South America or Central America. Now, do they? A lot of them live in the Miami area.
They live in the Miami area.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why we get a lot of them.
Yeah.
Brazilians and Venezuelans, and they're beautiful women.
Yeah, they are beautiful women. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I noticed that. Well, Maria, we want to wish you the best of luck. I'm sure you're really busy in the last couple of days here getting ready. And
I told you earlier, I'm baking cookies for everybody.
Baking cookies? All right. Save some for the media, too,
Oh, don't worry. You'll get some.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck this year, and thanks for taking a few minutes to talk with us. And I really look forward to going to the show. I think it's a great show. It's really entertaining for the audience, and because not only the competitors, but like I said, you guys bring in so many other guests and so many pros, and it's just a great event. And congratulations to you and Peter for putting on such a great event every year. And I really look forward to seeing it this year.
Thank you, and we're looking forward to seeing you and having everybody try to come down and at least experience the Southern States at least one time.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it, you got to come out and see it.
You got to come out and see it.
All right, Maria. Well, I'll see you this weekend, and best of luck the next couple of days getting everything ready.
Thanks a lot, John.
All right, take care.
All righty.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us for another edition of the Florida Physique Report. Be sure to join us next week for the Florida Physique Report, when I will report on what happened with the big NPC Southern States contest this weekend. And also this weekend, stay tuned to FloridaPhysique.com. We're going to be having the results posted as soon as I get them, along with full pictures from the contest. And we'll be doing some very special interviews with the winners and hopefully some of the guest posers. Stay tuned to FloridaPhysique.com this weekend for the results from the Southern States, and see you next week for another edition of the Florida Physique Report. Have a great weekend, everybody.